Hey everyone, it's December 20th, and that means that if today is your birthday, you share it with Australian serial killer Sarah Jane Makin, who killed at least a dozen infants along with her husband. And scroll down to Valentine's Day for more on him, and that is them right up there. Born in 1845, Makin was the daughter of a former convict, as many were in Australia at that time, and had a brief marriage to a sailor before meeting and marrying John Makin in 1871. They eventually had 10 children of their own, 5 daughters and 5 sons. John Makin worked delivering beer for a brewery, but after an accident left him unable to work, the couple turned to baby farming to make a living. This was the practice of taking in children for a fee, often for unwed women who would cause a scandal by having a baby out of wedlock. The goal was to find wealthy families who couldn't have children of their own and sell the babies to them. In 1892, the Makins first responded to a classified ad seeking someone to take a baby in exchange for child support expenses. They accepted an upfront payment of £3 and picked up the child, collecting 10 shillings per week from the mother while finding a way to avoid letting her see the kid. When the mother went to their home to try and see her child, she found that the Makins had moved. A few weeks later, a worker was clearing a drain at their old home and found it was clogged with the remains of 2 dead babies. The police were called and they arrested John and Sarah Makin along with 4 of their daughters who assisted in their scheme. Investigators dug up the yards of 11 homes they had lived in over the previous 2 years, finding at least 15 corpses. In 1893, the couple went on trial for murder, with their daughters turning witnesses for the prosecution rather than being charged themselves. Both were sentenced to death by hanging, with the judge saying, "You took money from the mother of this child, you beguiled her with promises which you never meant to perform and which you never did perform, having determined on the death of the child. You deceived her as to your address and endeavored to make it utterly fruitless that any search should be made, and finally, in order to make detection impossible, as you thought, having bereft it of life, you buried this child in your yard as you would the carcass of a dog." John Makin was hanged later that year, while Sarah's sentence was commuted to life in prison with hard labor. After her daughters campaigned for her release, Sarah Makin was let go in 1911, having spent 19 years behind bars. She died a free woman in 1918. The Makins raised the profile of the problem of baby farming in Australia, which led to the passage of the Children's Protection Act in 1892. Sarah Makin has been featured on the Discovery Channel series Deadly Women in 2009. If this is your birthday, I hope you have a great day. Leave me a comment so I can wish you a happy birthday. If you know someone whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Sarah Jane Makin, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.